Keir Starmer is trying to reverse Brexit. Believe it or not, Mr. U-turn himself. Brexit means taking back control, not half control. That's not what we voted for. Unless, Brussels decides to update its paper and then we follow it. He really is a little toe rag, the geezer, isn't he? Keir Starmer's up. I think you all know where I'm going with that. The UK is meant to have full control of laws made in this country. We're supposed to make the laws, not the bumbling waffle that they're doing over there in the EU. We're out of that. You know what I mean? That was the deal. That's what 17.4 million people voted for. But what was that, double what's Keir Starmer got? That's double what Keir Starmer got when he was elected. Now, this toffee-nosed little pissweasel is quietly pushing us back in with the EU rules. He's a sneaky little sod doing things sector by sector like it's some task that nobody will notice. He's doing this with food standards, he's doing it with energy and things that affect everyday life. So basically, we are following the EU rules without being in the EU. He really is a slime bag of a leader. He is. And the worst part is we do not even get a vote or a say on this anymore. No influence, nothing. So basically, we left the EU a decade ago and Mr. U-turn is taking us in by the back door. But this time around, we do not have a seat at the table. He's such a smart fella, isn't he? He's just so smart. We didn't vote for this, Starmer. We didn't. He's got to be the most untrustworthy little backstabbing runt this country has ever had. I don't want to hear about it making trade easier. That was never the argument. The argument is about us having control over our own destiny, not Starmer cupping the nuts of his masters. Nobody stood in front of a TV or in Parliament and said, by the way, guys, we're going to start trying to, get back into the EU regulations again. No one did that. I wouldn't want it, but I'd admire them for at least trying to be honest for once. That conversation never happened, did it? But as we know, our Pinocchio leader has a problem with telling the truth, doesn't he? The Labour Party are choosing to follow rules made somewhere else by people that we never elected. Then we won't even have no say on changing them. He might as well take a crap on my nan's grave for good measure and say, I don't know, pay me for it. That's how it feels. You can say we're not rejoining the EU, but the jihadist mayor of London was sucking up to them just last week with a letter begging to rejoin the EU again. Sadiq Khan, what a guy. I love him. He's such a nice bloke. If any of these parasites had any nuts, they would put it front and centre and let the British people judge it. But these vermin leaders and MPs are not on your side. So when anyone gets in your ear about all of this crap, just do not act like this is some minor technical tweak. This goes right to the heart of what people voted for. And they're just reversing it without your permission. Labour and Keir Starmer are showing the middle finger to 17.4 million people. Like, you mean nothing, as these piss poor 7 million voters get to decide our future. And then I'm kind of sitting here thinking to myself, with all the elections coming up, the local elections, the general elections, why even vote? Remember this, when the local elections do come back in May, do your best to kick Labour out. Kick them out of your community and into the closest gutter with the rest of the faeces. This isn't a leadership in this country. It's a clown with a tie who has no idea what he is doing. And at some point, everyone has to pick a line that they're going to be in. Stop pretending we can do both at the same time. This isn't a marriage to a wife where you're hiding that you're gay. This is a real life situation and you're doing it at the expense of British citizens.